Hello and welcome to Unity of Fredericksburg. My name is Johnetta, and I am pleased to welcome all of you to the Unity of Fredericksburg weekly online gathering. At Unity of Fredericksburg, we are advancing the movement of spiritual awakening and transformation through unity, a positive path for spiritual living. We thank those of you watching on YouTube, live or later, and invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're able to attend live, we encourage you to join us in the Zoom community room for the full Sunday morning experience, including music, prayer, and connection. Our weekly newsletter includes the Sunday service link, and you can subscribe to receive that on our website at uofva.org. For everyone local to Central Virginia, Unity of Fredericksburg offers a variety of fun and enriching in person gatherings every month. Subscribe to our weekly newsletter at uofva.org for all the details. Our message today comes from Minister Reverend Cheryl Fair.
Thank you, Johnetta. Welcome, welcome, everyone. So happy to see everyone who is in the Zoom room with me right now. And just want to recognize everyone who might be watching later or watching on YouTube. We appreciate you showing up and being a part of the energy that is Unity of Fredericksburg. Our broadcast date today is Sunday, January the 12th. So we just want to talk a little bit about January. So January derives its name from the Roman deity Janus, the god of beginnings, change, gateways, archways, and doorways, right? So the attention grabbing figure from mythology of Janus has two faces. So one looking to the past for perspective and one looking to the future for hope. So it's a two-faced deity. And his domain includes beginnings and endings, change, of course, war and peace, birth and death, and generally all of the human dualities around transitions. So the duality of Janus matches perfectly with the end of one year and the beginning of the next. Also in numerology, January's month number is very important. The number 1 represents potential and creation, and it's the cornerstone on which all other numbers are built. So here's a quote from Henry Ward Beecher. Every person should be born again on the first day of January. Start with a fresh page. On this day, let all gird themselves with their face to the front and take no interest in things that were and are past. So, there we have it for January, the beginning of a new year. We've been taking it kind of nice and at an easy pace here at Unity of Fredericksburg on the first Sunday of January, which was a week ago. We held our annual Burning Bowl ceremony, and today we will follow that up with our annual White Stone ceremony. So we are embracing this mystical transformation, transition from letting, as in letting go, like we do in the burning bowl, to setting, as in setting intentions. So we're going from letting to setting, right? Here's another quote to kind of support us along the way. This is from Ernest Holmes in 365 Science of Mind. As we come to surrender all littleness, fear, and doubt, the river of life flowing from the mind of God will renew our vigor, remake our strength, ennoble our being, heal our bodies, and bring peace to our hearts. So, We do, since we're doing the white stone ceremony today, some supplies are important. So you will want to have a white stone, and hopefully you're prepared with that. I have one here that's actually one that I used from a previous year that I'm still holding on to because it still has good stuff on there to remind me. You could also use a seashell, or if you don't have any of that on hand right now, you could just use a piece of paper. And later on, when you find a stone or a shell you want to use, you can just transfer the information that comes today. And you'll want a pencil or a marker. And just know that if the pace of what we do today is too fast for you, you can always find the recording once it's up on our YouTube channel and follow up and do it at your own pace. I also do want to mention that we will have a longer meditation this morning because it does take a few minutes for that discernment to show up for us. So I want to give us enough time for that. So we'll have a longer meditation than we normally do here on Sunday morning. So enough talk about all that business. Let's get to it on the white stone ceremony. So whatever you have to work with, I invite you to hold it in your hand right now. Just kind of put it in between your two hands. Hold it there, filling it with your energy and affirming your willingness and openness to receive inspiration. So we are inviting the energy of spirit within us today to reveal our highest intentions for 2025. And we'll be looking for just a word, one word, maybe two, or perhaps a new name that will symbolize your evolving spiritual identity. And anytime that you feel led as we go through our process today, you can write the word or the name on your stone or whatever it is you're working with as a reminder that you can look to in the year to come. So as you hold your white stone in your hand, know that you are starting 2025 with a clean slate. Doesn't that feel good? Clean slate. I was just imagining, being in school back in the day where they used a blackboard and chalk, and sometimes it might have been, uh, your job to be the one to erase the board and take the erasers outside. Remember knocking them together to kind of clear the chalk off of it. So we've been doing that process of knocking things off with our burning bowl, so we have a clean slate. Now, it's important to remember we can claim a clean slate anytime in our lives. It's just that we do that, especially here at the beginning of the year. We lean into that energy of new beginnings and we expand our awareness to new ideas, what some might call an epiphany. Now, we talked a little bit about epiphany last week. And let me just remind us, all right? So this past Monday, January 6th, was the day that is called Epiphany. And in the biblical nativity story, this is the day when the three wise ones, or the magi, arrived at the stable where the baby Jesus was. So that's the story that's associated with this day called Epiphany on the church calendar. And metaphysically, of course, the arrival of the magi represents the awakening of our own personal power of wisdom, right? So last Sunday on January 5th, we performed the ritual of the burning bowl. So basically we were cleaning house in consciousness, right? Knocking those erasers, clearing things out, releasing thoughts, ideas, circumstances that no longer serve our highest good. We do that with gratitude, right? Acknowledging that those thoughts and beliefs have served us well, but we don't need those anymore. Now, today, with the white stone ceremony, we're going to claim the next steps for our personal and spiritual growth. And we are going to look at this process today from a couple of different perspectives. So first up, historically. So historically, white stones have great meaning. So I began the talk today talking about the Roman god Janus. So in the years of the Roman Empire, that of course is the period when the Bible was written. In the Roman Empire, white stones were given to those who were released from prison, those released from slavery, or found to be innocent of a crime. They were given a white stone, kind of like their new identity papers, right? And for those who had been held in bondage, the white stone represented freedom, innocence, safe passage, because this would be like their papers that they could go from wherever they were being held to wherever their home was or something. They could show this white stone so that they could pass through safely. It's about having a new identity, right? So take a breath right here. And hopefully you were able to participate in the burning bowl with us, because I'd like for you to think back for a moment on that burning bowl ritual and just recall, what were those old beliefs and circumstances that may have held you in bondage, right? And see those thoughts and beliefs like gently floating away in the breeze. Feel within yourself the open space that you created by letting go, right? Space for potential and possibilities to grow. Feel that energy of freedom that is yours, freedom to set new intentions, to claim a new identity, just like those who were released and given a white stone during the Roman Empire. Now, we're also going to look at this from the perspective of the Bible. Of course, the Bible written at that time. Not surprising that there's a bit of the Bible that relates to this. That's actually what the white stone ceremony is based upon. And this is from the 2nd chapter of the book of Revelation. So let me read this little bit to you. To everyone who conquers, I will give some of the hidden manna. And I will give a white stone, and on the white stone is written a new name that no one knows except the one who receives it. So we're going to break this down, my friends. We're going to do a little metaphysical Bible interpretation, right? As a reminder, Unity founder Charles Fillmore, he described the Bible as the story of the evolution of human consciousness. So that's kind of like the big picture in Unity of the Bible. And the individual picture is that the Bible is the story of the evolution of your consciousness. So when we talk about the Bible and Unity, it's not as if there is some authority out there that says what it means. It means whatever it means to you in this moment. So let's go back. Let me read that little passage to you again, and then we're going to break it down, all right? So we really understand what it means to us. So here it is. To everyone who conquers, I will give some of the hidden manna, and I will give a white stone, and on the white stone is written a new name that no one knows except the one who receives it. All right. So the first phrase there, to everyone who conquers. So let me ask a question, friends. Is there anyone here who has not experienced overcoming a challenge? Anyone? No, we all have, right? Each and every one of us has made it through the worst days of our lives, and we're here right now, right? Each and every one of us has worked through hardship. Each and every one of us has overcome, conquered circumstance. This passage from the Bible is for you, my friends, as to everyone who conquers. Now, the next thing in the passage, I will give some of the hidden manna. Now, manna, I think you probably already know, means bread. Bread symbolizes sustenance, right? And hidden manna is, we're not talking about physical bread, like I might have had some toast for breakfast, right? We're talking about metaphysical bread. Hidden manna is the sustenance of spirit. I will give some of the sustenance of spirit. So the hidden manna is derived from the higher levels of being within us, not our human selves out there running our human lives, but our divine nature that is in charge of our soul. So this is hidden manna is here to nourish the soul and benefit the whole being, right? So prepare, my friends, to receive the hidden manna. All right, then the rest of this scripture, I will give a white stone, and on the white stone is written a new name that no one knows except the one who receives it. Now, in the Bible, there are lots of different stories of people changing their names, taking on, having, an epiphany in consciousness and taking on a new name, right? And in the stories around Jesus, Jesus, in fact, gives some of his disciples new names, right? So Simon shows up. He says, "Your name is now Peter," and there's symbolism to the name. And when we are born, we are given a name, but many times in our lives, as we go through different transitions, we take on a new name, right? Or a new title. Names have meaning, and there are times in our lives where our community chooses our names, but there are times when we choose our names as well, right? And many times our names represent those spiritual capacities that we have. And in many indigenous cultures, having a naming ceremony is one of those, shifts into adulthood, where you have your child name and then you take on, and your community participates in calling forth the divine wisdom of what is your new name. So today we are creating space for new names, new intentions, new paths to be revealed. We'll be looking for just one or two words that will kind of guide you along your path for this year. It could be the name of a role, perhaps, that you are called to take on for the year. I encourage you to remain open to possibilities and know that it's never too late for something new to show up. There's a story I like to tell when it comes to the White Stone ceremony. I'm going to make it as quick as I can today because we have time to spend in meditation and all of that. But I like to tell the story of Ruth, a young woman named Ruth, who and this would have been let's say let's say 100 years ago. It probably wouldn't be quite that long, but I don't have all those numbers worked out in my head. So Ruth grows up in Iowa, and she's works on a farm, and she meets a young man on the farm, and they decide they want to be together, and he gets an offer of a job um, many miles away in Wyoming, and she doesn't finish high school. His name is Jimmy. So Ruth marries Jimmy and they go to Wyoming, and she is a faithful wife and helps him as he works on a farm and eventually becomes the man who kind of coordinates all the work on the farm. And at a certain point, he passes away. But one of the things that she has kept in her heart all of these years, all through her marriage, all through raising 2 children, she always has a stress on education because she never finished high school. And so once her children have grown and she has come close to the end of her work that she's doing, she decides to complete high school, and she goes back and gets her GED at age 65. And this Ruth that I talked about, I'm talking about is Ruth Fair. She was my grandmother, and she got her GED at age 65. So she chose to take on a new name, the name of graduate, so that she could finish something that, had been in her heart and her mind from when she was a child. And life got in the way. For a lot of us, life gets in the way, right? But it's never too late to come back and claim a new name for yourself. So we're going to, in just a few minutes here, move into a time of meditation. We are going to take 5 minutes for meditation today, which is longer than we usually do, but I want to allow you some space. And even that, if it doesn't feel like enough space, then you can revisit the recording and allow yourself as much space as you want, right? So let me give us a little warm up, and then Jason will put up a slide for us so that we can spend some time in the stillness together. As we surrender and allow the energy of the universe to speak to us in the silence, we make space for unlimited possibilities to become manifest in our lives. In creating a space in our consciousness, we open ourselves to unlimited possibilities and potential. So I invite you to consciously invite the activity of spirit to come alive in your heart, your body, your mind. And as you settle into the stillness, perhaps there's a new opportunity or quality or purpose that divine love wants to express through you. So give your human brain, your ego, a few minutes of rest. Just let it pause and let that divine holy self in you come alive. Give yourself permission to know the energy of divinely guided wisdom. We will spend 5 minutes in the stillness. And at any time when you feel ready, you can write on your stone whatever has come to you. And if all is quiet and nothing's coming through, don't let that worry you, my friends. The process of revealing may take more than the 5 minutes we have in meditation today. So just know that you're opening a door, and maybe it'll come to you in the middle of the night. Keep your stone and your pencil next to the bed tonight. No matter how you experience it, be gentle with yourself and rest in the stillness. Okay? So we are moving into meditation now. Jason's going to put up a slide so that if you like to kind of keep your eyes a little bit open, you'll have something to look at. And we're going to stay here together in the stillness for 5 minutes, beginning now. All right, my friends, as we begin to bring our awareness back to the here and now, I invite you to hold that stone in your hand again and see it as a symbol of new life, a symbol of who you have become, who you are becoming, who you would like to become. Just feel the presence of all that is and know your oneness with that which we call God. Feel that loving presence as it surrounds and supports you. Know that right now you are safe and secure. You are loved and supported in that one presence and one power at the center of your being. In the year to come, anytime you look at your white stone, realize that you have the gift of choice, the gift to think differently, believe differently, live differently, to begin anew, not just today, but any day you choose. So gratitude flows in abundance from our hearts as we rejoice in whatever we have experienced today. Along with this experience comes the power and guidance to achieve all that we desire. We are on the path to greater insights and deeper awareness of the presence of Spirit as us. Behold, all things are made new. Accept this consciousness of ever increasing good in your life and carry your white stone as a reminder of that promise. And so it is. So I have one more thing to share with you, and then we'll be finished here today. This is a quote from Scott Aubrey, who is the man who presents the website Spiritual Passages that I draw on extensively for my talks on Sunday morning. And I, of course, am a sustaining giver to his ministry, Spiritual Passages. Here's this quote. We each have the human capacity and the spiritual wherewithal to allow the coming year to be a truly blessed and joyous time, a time of healing, renewal, and love made visible. We can be more faithfully prayed up, affirming our connection with the divine and with each other. This year, we can be more generous, kind, and light-hearted, more centered on the things of this life that reflect our deepest heart and our most noble intentions. Each day this year, no matter the circumstances, we can choose to feel blessed and to be a blessing for others. And so it is. So that's it for me today, my friends. I hope you have enjoyed this time doing our white stone ceremony. I'm going to hand it back to our friend Johnetta to close us out here today.
All right. Thank you so much. And thanks for watching the weekly broadcast from Unity of Fredericksburg. Visit our website, uofva.org, to learn more about our mission of spiritual awakening and transformation, and support our ministry with your financial donation.